literally is the best advertising strategy.
Exactly.
We have come together today for a day of middle class myth or reality. It's very easy to talk about the upcoming middle class, and because everyone thinks it's upcoming, it's very easy to chime in into that story, and we want to diversify it a little bit today, nuance it a little bit. And of course, we want to celebrate some of MSRA's achievements over the last year, give you a look forward, and we want to have a nice forum for everyone to meet each other. Luckily, I have very little protocol to observe, because after me, our chairman will be speaking, our chairperson will be speaking, pardon me, and take care of that protocol for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very proud that MSRA has been at the center of the contribution to the market research industry. Let me give you a little history. 15 years ago, a group of visionary individuals came together to form an association that will guide the growth of the budding market research sector. They include Jane Delori, Daksha Shah, Catherine Gaho, Zedi Ziongo, Roger Steadman, and Gumo Wanguru. Are you familiar with them, any of them? That was 15 years ago. They founded MSRA, and we truly salute them. Around the same time, a handful of local entrepreneurs saw this opportunity and believed in it. They ventured into new waters and formed market research agencies. And over time, they have helped transform many lives and many families. And I will name them. They are SBO Research, Strategic Research, Consumer Insight, Steadman Group, Research Solutions Africa, Infotrack Consulting, and Consumer Options.
For the vast majority of us, we find ourselves in the middle class, okay? So we continue to buy liabilities. We get credit cards, which gets you more debt, but technically you look at it as an asset, but you've got a characteristic of putting you into further debt, all right? And if you look at that as the premise of defining middle class, then you look at economies or global markets where we say there's a thriving middle class. All right, so let's look at South Africa. That's a good example because I think it's near enough and a lot of us can relate to what's happening in South Africa. The average middle-class South African has 3 to 4 credit cards, okay? So they're actually perpetually in debt, yeah? And that's just their characteristic. They will buy or uptrade their car every 2 to 3 years, and they want to live in the greatest or, great residential neighborhoods of which they continue to pile and pray for more debt.
We are researchers. We are in pursuit of information every day. And to come and tell you a story, redefine, or challenge the definition of African middle class, I'm sure we've all tried it, and I will do my Nielsen way. I take care of the Coca-Cola account, by the way. So Eric, Enoch, salute to the Coca-Cola teams from different agencies. And yes, we are here to challenge the definition. And I'll start with me. If you looked at me, I'm Marianne. Do you think I love red apples or pinkies or green ones? Do I like nyama choma? Do I like lasagna? Do I like burgers? Do I like sukuma wiki and ugali? If you looked at me, would you really know? I don't think so, until you got to know me. And it's the same thing with the African middle class. Sometimes we think we know them. Sometimes we know them. Maybe some of us who put a little work to it, we actually know them. But we'll give you the Nielsen definition of the same.
A certain way. And procurement is one of the biggest killers of even development. We normally call it the biggest, and our procurement law right now here in Kenya is actually one of the most, I won't say what's in my head, but truth of the matter is, in Kenya with procurement, if I came and tendered for a job and didn't get it, all I have to say is I think that there was some favoritism in you getting the job, and I can go to court and stop the process. And we have to start all over again. So the procurement process actually for that particular job took quite a while, and it was a simple thing. And then obviously by the time we were now getting in, we then get word of the fact that we're getting a very important visitor, and so we need to speed up. And we need to do it a lot faster than we had intended.
We talk about growing interests in the rural areas because of, which is interesting, not necessarily just because of economic desire for economic growth, but out of fear. A lot of, you know, in Nigeria, one of the ethnic groups that move things are the Igbos. Now, these Igbos are a lot in the north, but with all the insecurity, all the terrorist attacks in the north, they're all moving down south back to where they came from, to the southeast. And they're pushing development in that area.
Regardless of the fact that the wildebeest are walking through the Mara. The wildebeest didn't stop coming to Kenya. They moved from Serengeti to Mara and they crossed. So the product, the migration, did not have a problem. But that human interaction was affected, and therefore tourism went down. All right?
As we were going through this, we asked ourselves a few questions, and I would like you to ask yourself the same. The first question is middle class the same as middle income? I've seen a lot of overlap as the other presenters were presenting, and we are asking, is it a lifestyle? Because if you look at tourism, it's a lifestyle. Or is it a belief?
It is an open demonstration of our commitment as researchers to live by our values, by ensuring that all decisions, structures, processes are guided by an ethical approach to doing business. Simply put, it's doing the right thing all the time to all our stakeholders. The code is good for business. As researchers, we know that for a company to build a strong reputation, it must be, first of all, known and recognized. Then it in turns favorability. But to earn the pinnacle of trust requires much more. Yet integrity and trust are critical pillars for our industry.